In our line of work, we are often challenged by calls. These challenges are both professional and personal. Today, we want to talk about a call that reveals our values. This call epitomizes what we believe is the right thing for the right reason. On the evening of August 24th, our brothers and sisters at Station 83 responded to a call that hit close to home. Engineer Brian Johnson received the kind of call no one of us ever wants to get. His father, Brian Sr., had been found unresponsive at their family home.
I was at work for the fire department down in Escondido, and I got a call from my mom, and just so happened to feel it ring in my pocket. So she told me, hey, I found Dad, he's not breathing and didn't have a pulse. And I was like,
coincidentally, I called my brother to check in as I was driving home from work. When he picked up the phone, I knew immediately something was not right by the tone of his voice.
Captain Becky Marodi and her crew arrived to find Mr. Johnson in cardiac arrest. They did everything they could to save him, but tragically, his time had passed. Yet their work was far from over.
The fire department showed up, Captain Marodi and her crew, and it was as if these angels walked into my house.
My brother's wife was at the house, and she happened to be wearing a Stashtoberfest t-shirt from 2013.
Captain Marodi noticed it, and then Cassie told her that her husband, my son, was a fireman, and this particular t-shirt, the person that it was honoring had been Captain Marodi's partner who had been killed on duty.
So I'm assuming through some type of conversation, she found out my brother was an Escondido firefighter. He's an engineer.
I think I got to about Rainbow from Escondido and then hit stop traffic. And as soon as I fully stopped on my brakes, Captain Marodi called and said, hey, we pronounced your dad.
In their line of questioning and helping the family, they were able to ascertain that the patient is a veteran of the services for the United States.
When I eventually got up to my mom's house, I pulled up and there was a fire engine there, a battalion chief, and they were all lined up. I was kind of like, what are you guys still doing here type deal. The battalion chief, he was holding an American flag, and he just said, hey, I know your dad served the country. We wanted to wait for you to come up and cover his body, but we wanted to see if it's okay with you and if you wanted to be part of it. And I was like, yeah, of course.
After he passed, they stayed for an hour and a half to console my mom, to wait for my brother to show up. She called a chaplain. She also went way above and beyond, called a battalion chief. A battalion chief came to the house and gave us a flag and draped the flag over my dad to show respect, and to honor him, which meant a lot.
No one could have been kinder or more loving. I immediately felt like she was my family, like she could have been a daughter to me. And she hugged me a couple of times, which was so sweet. It went beyond professionalism. It did, it really did. They weren't cold, they were warm and loving.
Brian wanted to do something special for myself and for the guys at the station. And then he called me one day and said, I could make you dinner anytime I want to, but there was something special that I needed to give you. He brought me that shirt that his wife was wearing that day. He said, I didn't know how you knew that I was a firefighter. And when you told me that Stashtoberfest shirt was actually dedicated to Chris Douglas and that he was somebody you worked with, I couldn't help but not give you that shirt. So he presented me the shirt in a frame, and right now I have it hanging up in my living room at my house.
In the fire service, we often say that we're a family. But on August 24th, Company 83, along with Chief Crater, Chief Lubin, and the chaplains program, proved that. Showed that respect to another firefighter from a different department. They exemplified our values of customer service and integrity. And the way they came together exemplifies our culture here in Riverside. This call and this video shows what doing the right thing is for the right reason.